The Phoenix Suns are making some smart moves as Matt Ishbia wants to go all in with this roster. They have just added new assistant head coach Mike Hopkins to their roster from the University of Washington, and he'll be joining in David Fizdale and Mike Budenholzer on that new coaching staff. We're going to be diving in, looking at how this is a sneaky good move by the Phoenix Suns front office. All of that and more on this episode of Suns Digest. I'm Bruce Velez. Before we dive in, though, before we get into all of this news, 85% of you guys who watch our videos are not subscribed. And CJ and I appreciate that number dwindling down, but if you want to make sure you stay up to date with all the news revolving around this Phoenix Suns team throughout the entire offseason, make sure to hit that subscribe button as this is the daily hub for Phoenix Suns content. Without further ado, though, let's dive into the topic at hand today. Make sure to grab a snack. And like I mentioned, that coaching staff is getting filled up. We saw it obviously throughout this offseason. Frank Vogel has been let go as the Phoenix Suns head coach, and Mike Budenholzer was brought in to replace him. Now, with doing that, the Suns then stripped all of the assistant coaches as well, all those specialist coaches as well, and have decided to look at some new names. David Fizdale was the guy that was, rumored to come in with this Phoenix Suns squad in a front office role. He declined, then accepted an assistant coach role alongside Mike Budenholzer. And now we have our newest assistant head coach getting added. If we want to look at this tweet here from Adrian Wojnarowski, ESPN sources with Pete Hamill, former University of Washington coach Mike Hopkins is a winner, two-time Pac-12 Coach of the Year, has agreed on becoming an assistant head coach for the Phoenix Suns. Hopkins joining Mike Budenholzer's staff after 3 decades of being in college basketball. Now, Bruce, you might be asking, who is Mike Hopkins? Who is this guy? I've never really heard of him. Well, guys, that's what this video is here to do. We're going to dive in and look at some of his accomplishments. He's a former longtime Syracuse Orange men's basketball assistant as he was coaching for the Syracuse Orange for 20 years behind Jim Boeheim. He recently just was the Washington Huskies head coach for 7 years, where he was back-to-back Pac-12 Coach of the Year in 2018 and 2019. Not to mention he's been coaching for 30 years as a college head coach. He joined Washington in 2017, like I mentioned, after working 20 years as an assistant under former Syracuse men's basketball coach Jim Boeheim, where he also played for Jim Boeheim in 4 years as well, from 1990 to 1993. In the middle of the 23-24 season, though, Washington did announce that Hopkins would not return to the program as their head coach. The Huskies finished 17-15 overall and 9-11 versus the Pac-12 in their final year with Hopkins at the helm. Even though Hopkins has had a fantastic start with Washington after they had a 21-win season his first year in there, and his second year going 27-9 and making the NCAA tournament, and after that it was downhill. From 2018 to 2019, that was his best year as Washington would not make the Pac-12 or the NCAA tournament at all in the following years. And in his final year, 5 years as head coach, he only went positive in 2 of them, in 2022 and 2024, going 17-15 with a total tenure of 118 and 105 at Washington. Lastly, before we wrap this up, kind of breaking down him, has coached one NBA player from Washington, and that is Markelle Fultz. When he went to win on Pac-12 Coach of the Year, and he had a 2019 conference title and an NC tournament bid. In his first year as head coach, he coached Markelle Fultz, but after that, he had not been able to coach any big talents. He has had some work with Team USA, though, as the co-coach of the USA basketball select team in 2012, where he served in preparing for the Olympics in London, and that helped out most recently win gold medals in the 24 World Championship and the 2016 Summer Olympics. So when looking at our guy, Mike Hopkins, you guys can see, you guys can hear that he has some great basketball qualities. Like we mentioned, he's had 30 years in collegiate basketball, has had 20 years as an assistant coach behind Jim Boeheim, one of the great legendary basketball head coaches, and then also took a realm where he coached 10 years basically at Washington, where he had a all right tenure. Now, honestly, when we look at this, when we kind of debating this, we're going to be asking you guys this question as well. Do we like this move? So drop down in the comment section how you guys feel about bringing your boy Mike over to the squad here in Phoenix as a new assistant head coach. Honestly, I don't really watch that much Pac-12 basketball as I am an East Coaster. And as you guys know, Washington hasn't really been that popular and we haven't seen them that much in the tournaments. So to be honest, I don't really know that much about this new assistant head coach. But from what I can hear from Mike Hopkins is that he is a solid head coach and I would not be scaring or freaking out for the fact that he was brought in. Mike Budenholzer definitely wanted him. This head coaching staff definitely likes what he can bring to the game. And I think that they all bring different styles for this Suns team. We saw last year with Frank Vogel, they had a defensive minded head coach. This Suns team kind of go in a different direction. They had the all star talent on the offensive side. They said, let's invest on the defensive side on coaching. It ultimately led to a terrible, and horrific offensive game for the Phoenix Suns, and therefore they had to re-scrap and re-change up their plans. By bringing in Budenholzer, he is a fantastic offensive mind, knows how to work with guys like Booker, like Durant, like Beal, and wholeheartedly make this team a well-oiled machine to be able to function offensively. David Fizdale is a guy who can be there to be the hard-nosed uncle, the guy who's going to tell you straight up how it is going to be and how it is going to go down. He takes no BS and will 100% be that voice in that locker room and be that guy to hold these players accountable. Now you add a guy like Mike Hopkins, who personally, I don't know what kind of specialties he's going to bring to this assistant coaching staff. But like I mentioned, if Budenholzer likes him, if Fizdale likes him, I know the Suns have gone after some other guys like Darvin Ham, maybe possibly Scott Brooks, some other guys behind the scenes. But settling with a guy in your boy, Mike Hopkins, alongside a guy in David Fizdale with, Mike Budenholzer. I think that this team is going to be set up to be in the right direction and heading towards, getting into that greener pasture that Matt Ishbia wants this Suns team to be in. Like we mentioned, Matt Ishbia feels that this team can win a championship. They had 49 game wins last season. They were a 6 seed. They ran into the Timberwolves, who ultimately sent us home in a sweep, but no one really expected the Timberwolves to be that good to send home the Suns to sweep, and I think they would have done that to anybody else in the first round. Suns got a better matchup. It could have looked like a better outcome for this team, possibly even be able to win a game or two in the playoffs, but ultimately that's how the cookie crumbles. Now with the Suns having that devastating, kind of wake up in reality moment, it's kind of coming clear to this Suns front office and this Suns team that they need to go all and win right now and get that best team out there, and they're going to try their best to do so. And with bringing in a guy like Mike Hopkins, who understands the collegiate basketball level to a T, has been coaching it for 30 years, and definitely is a smart basketball mind. I'm trusting in this Suns front office. I'm trusting into this Suns coaching staff, and I am believing in our guy. Let me know what you guys think down below in the comment section. How do you guys feel about the new Phoenix Suns assistant coach getting hired to be part of this squad? Do you guys like Mike Hopkins? Do you guys think there could have been a better option for the Phoenix Suns to go after the assistant head coach? Drop down your thoughts down below. If you guys enjoyed the content and you guys enjoyed this video, check out the other videos linked at the top. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button for your boys Bruce and CJ, as we're trying to get to 1,000 subscribers and we're less than 200 away from it. Thank you guys so much for your guys' support. Thank you guys for tuning into these episodes. I'm Bruce Velez. I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out and go Phoenix Suns.